shall not make idols for yourselves, nor shall you set up a statue or a monument for yourselves. And in your land you shall not place a pavement stone on which to prostrate yourself. For I am the Lord your God. You shall keep my Sabbaths and fear my sanctuary. I am the Lord. If you follow my statutes and observe my commandments and perform them, I will give your rains in their time. The land will yield its produce, and the tree of the field will give forth its fruit. Your threshing will last until the vintage, and the vintage will last until the sowing. You will eat your food to satiety, and you will live in security in your land. And I will grant peace in the land, and you will lie down with no one to frighten you. I will remove wild beasts from the land, and no army will pass through your land. You will pursue your enemies, and they will fall by the sword before you. 5 of you will pursue 100, and 100 of you will pursue 10,000. Your enemies will fall by the sword before you. I will turn towards you, and I will make you fruitful and increase you, and I will set up my covenant with you. You will eat very old produce, and you will clear out the old from before you, and I will place my dwelling in your midst, and my spirit will not reject you. I will walk among you and be your God, and you will be my people. I am the Lord your God, who took you out of the land of Egypt from being slaves to them, and I broke the pegs of your yoke and led you upright. But if you do not listen to me and do not perform all these commandments, and if you despise my statutes and reject my ordinances, not performing any of my commandments, thereby breaking my covenant, then I too will do the same to you. I will order upon you shock, consumption, fever, and diseases that cause hopeless longing and depression. You will sow your seed in vain. Your enemies will eat it. I will set my attention against you, and you will be smitten before your enemies. Your enemies will rule over you. You will flee, but no one will be pursuing you. And if during these you will not listen to me, I will add another 7 punishments for your sins. I will break the pride of your strength and make your skies like iron and your land like copper. Your strength will be expended in vain. Your land will not yield its produce, neither will the tree of the earth give forth its fruit. And if you treat me as happenstance and you do not wish to listen to me, I will add 7 punishments corresponding to your sins. I will incite the wild beasts of the field against you. They will bereave you, utterly destroy your livestock, diminish you, and your roads will become desolate. And if through these you will still not be chastised, to return to me, and you continue to treat me happenstance, then I too will treat you as happenstance. I will again add 7 punishments for your sins. I will bring upon you an army that avenges the avenging of a covenant, and you will gather into your cities. I will incite the plague in your midst, and you will be delivered into the enemy's hand. When I break for you the staff of bread, and 10 women will bake your bread in one oven, and they will bring back your bread by weight, you will eat, yet not be satisfied. And if despite this you still do not listen to me, still treating me as happenstance, I will treat you with the fury of happenstance, adding 7 chastisements for your sins. You will eat the flesh of your sons and the flesh of your daughters. You will eat. I will demolish your edifices and cut down your sun idols. I will make your corpses fall upon the corpses of your idols, and my spirit will reject you. I will lay your cities waste and make your holy places desolate, and I will not partake of your pleasant fragrances. I will make the land desolate, so that it will become desolate also of your enemies who live in it. And I will scatter you among the nations, and I will unsheath the sword after you. Your land will be desolate, and your cities will be laid waste. Then the land will be appeased regarding its sabbaticals. During all the days that it remains desolate, while you are in the land of your enemies, the land will rest, and thus appease its sabbaticals. It will rest during all the days that it remains desolate, whatever it had not rested on your sabbaticals when you lived upon it. And those of you who survive, I will bring fear in their hearts. In the lands of their enemies, and the sound of rustling leaf will pursue them. They will flee as one flees a sword and will fall, but there will be no pursuer. Each man will stumble over his brother, fleeing as if from the sword, but without a pursuer. You will not be able to stand up against your enemies. You will become lost among the nations, and the land of your enemies will consume you, and because of their iniquity, those of you who survive will rot away in the lands of your enemies. Moreover, they will rot away because the iniquities of their fathers are still within them. They will then confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers, their betrayal that they dealt me, that they also treated me as happenstance. Then I too will treat them as happenstance and bring them back while in the land of their enemies. If then their clogged heart becomes humbled, then their sufferings will gain appeasement for their iniquity. And I will remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham. I will remember, and I will remember the land, for the land will be bereft of them, appeasing its sabbaticals when it had been desolate of them, and they will gain appeasement for their iniquity. This was all that retribution for their having despised my ordinances, and in retribution for their having rejected my statutes. But despite all this, while they are in the land of their enemies, I will not despise them, nor will I reject them to annihilate them, thereby breaking my covenant that is with them. For I am the Lord their God. I will remember for them the covenant made with their ancestors, whom I took out from the land of Egypt before the eyes of the nations, to be a God to them. I am the Lord. These are the statutes, the ordinances, and the laws that the Lord gave that between himself and the children of Israel on Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses.